listeners. Welcome to the Coffee and Ketchup podcast. I'm your host, Megan, with your other host,
Zan or Evangelina Skov, whatever you feel like today.
Woo.
I have two cups for two names.
I have a mocha that I made at home by myself. It's passable. What do you have, Zan?
I'm so proud of your homemade mocha. I want some. I just have coffee today, just black coffee. That's it. Nothing fancy. I've had two coffees already. They both had coconut milk, that barista coconut milk that smells really good. But I had enough milky substances for the day, so I said I just want coffee, and that's it. So
I don't think I've ever drank more than 2 cups of coffee in a day, though I have drank an entire 1 liter bottle of energy drink before. That's coming up in a video on my YouTube channel soon. It's sort of a disaster.
Oh God, I didn't know this was happening.
The video has nothing to do with me drinking an energy drink. It's just I was drinking it while I was recording, and then the whole thing just sort of downhill.
Megan, are you okay? Are you okay?
I'm a student. My heart has developed a tolerance to beating at 100 miles an hour.
You know what? That's fair. I have learned, though, that 3 coffees is the key to productivity for me. Because 2 coffees, I'm just surviving. 3 coffees, I've got a little bit of extra energy, a little bit of extra boost to actually do stuff with my day. It's wonderful.
See, I have this nasty habit. I've been making, because we have an espresso machine downstairs that I bought from a dorm room when I thought I was moving in September. So I've had it for a few months now. And now I don't even know if I can bring it over because I might be going over alone as opposed to going over on the ferry. So the espresso machine might have been a useless purchase. Anyway, so I've been making coffees like every morning with that. But I always end up leaving like 1 espresso shot worth of coffee left in my cup because it gets so cold I can't drink it anymore. But so then I don't want to make another coffee because I just poured out coffee. But I don't know. I also get the urge at 1 a.m. to drink a cup of coffee, which isn't a great idea.
Oh, you know what I do when I want coffee really late at night? You're probably going to think this is disgusting, actually. So I don't know if you've ever made Turkish coffee, but I've made it for you, I think. So I think you know how it's done. So for people who don't know, it's a specific kind of coffee. You put it in this little pot, heat up the water, and you stir in the coffee a little bit, and then you wait for it before it boils. It starts to rise, it's done. But I do that with cocoa powder. No sugar, no milk, nothing. And then that gives me the feeling of coffee without the caffeine. It's great. I'm very clever.
I've started doing hot chocolate at 1 a.m. just to like satiate that like hot beverage need without the caffeine. Mm-hmm. Also, because I have mochas most of the time, I guess I can kind of trick my brain into thinking like it's just a watered down mocha or something.
Yeah. See, I drink very bitter coffee.
This is not what this episode is about.
No, surprisingly, the Coffee and Ketchup podcast is not about coffee. No, today we are doing something else. We are doing anime episode.
Anime? Wait, hold on. You're watching on YouTube.
Yes.
My Monokuma.
I love that.
Wait, Monokuma or Rilakuma? Monokuma.
Monokuma.
I always get those 2 confused. I also have a Gara plushie somewhere from Naruto. He's staring at me from across the room. Hi, baby. I love you.
I have an off-brand fat Pikachu over there, but like that's about it. I don't know if it's Pikachu as well. Yeah, fat Pikachu is Pikachu. Anyway, this is Weeb episode, so that's where I was going with that.
Weeb episode.
Yeah. Anime has always been an important aspect of our lives and our friendship as well, to say it as dramatically as possible. It has been some of the ties that hold us together, perhaps.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure the first YouTube video on my channel is us going to Comic-Con and you dressed up as from your Diaries. Or Mirai Nikki, if you want to get Japanese about it.
If you want to get Japanese about it. That's my favorite way to say that. Yeah, that was the first we only went to 2 Comic-Cons together. And both times I was an anime character. And I think both times you were a DC character. Yeah, because you were Harley Quinn and then
I was Harley Quinn and the Joker.
Yes.
I was a gender bend Joker. That was a good costume.
That was a great costume. I do want to apologize very briefly to everybody. I hit my microphone with my hand. I'm not a professional. I'm sorry. I mean,
I think it's
technically I
expected
am.
at this point. You're a professional YouTuber, not a professional
Podcaster.
podcaster.
Yeah, so it's fine. But
Yeah, and I think at this point it's expected that at least once in every podcast you will hit the mic and I will put my cup down on the computer, thereby making a loud noise.
basically the whole podcast is just us going loud noises. It's fine. But so yeah, we went to 2 Comic-Cons. Both times I was an anime character. First time I was Gasai from Mirai Nikki, which was an anime you had recommended to me, which cemented, like, I already loved anime, but that really cemented my love of anime because it was my first, like, horror anime. It's not really a horror, but,
Yeah.
in that sort of
It's the
darker
kind of
genre.
horror that I like, yeah, in the sense that it's dark, but it's not like, I don't know. That's the kind of horror, because I hate horror movies,
Mhm.
but I like that sense of horror where it's like dark and creepy, but it's not like psychologically you're afraid to turn out the lights or like a bunch of jump scares that you're afraid to open your bedroom door because something's going to pop out at you. It's just like it puts you in that mood of like the world is a terrible, terrible place.
Yes, it's creepy, not scary, basically.
Yeah, I'm sorry, I'm dying. For anyone just listening to the audio on this, I'm just going to cough a lot.
Yes,
I
rip
apologize.
Megan. But actually, that wasn't the first anime you had recommended me, though. The first one that you recommended, which also sort of cemented my love of anime, it got me on to binging animes instead of just like Studio Ghibli or Ghibli or however you want to pronounce it. I still say Ghibli, or like Pokemon or Yu-Gi-Oh or whatever. It was Angel Beats.
Angel Beats, oh my god. That gets me every time. A video came up on my YouTube recommended of, was her name Yuki? The pink-haired one?
You will Yuki. Yeah.
Yeah, how she like moved on, her whole storyline of her life, and I was like,
how do we give a brief synopsis of Angel Beats without spoiling anything for anybody?
So Angel Beats, obviously I haven't watched it in a while, so I can't remember what's a spoiler. So be warned, maybe a spoiler in the synopsis. It's the story of a bunch of teenagers who are stuck in limbo. They're all dead. That's plainly clear in the first episode. They're all dead. They're stuck in limbo, but their limbo is a high school. And it's funny in the sense that like they can't die because they're stuck in limbo. But like they'll end up killing each other multiple times in an episode because they'll just get resurrected in a few minutes anyway. But it's also really sad in the sense that they've got to come to terms with like how they died and what their lives were like, because they all lived unfulfilled lives and they have to come to terms with that to move on or whatever.
Oh my god.
It's a very sad yet also hilarious anime.
No, it's like the perfect mixture of things. Like, that was such a funny anime, but the amount of tears that I cried over the course of that thing, like
there's one entire episode where everyone dies at least 5 times in the most hilarious ways. But then also it's got a really sad ending, I'm pretty sure. And like they do it miraculously well, where it's not just like a jarring left turn. It's like you go from like crying laughing to crying.
You laughed, then you tears of cry. That was the best way you could say that. I don't know why I insist on doing this accent. I don't even know what the accent is. It's Borat. I think it's Borat.
I do accents sometimes as well. I don't know why.
Yeah. Well, hold on. Let me have a little bit of sip of coffee there. Should we make it an ASMR?
God.
That was disgusting.
Anyone just listening to the audio of that just like crawled out of their skin.
Yeah, or they were like, ooh, tingles. I don't know. I don't understand people that like ASMR. Although I do like some forms of ASMR. Like, I didn't even realize this was ASMR. People are screaming at me, it's ASMR. Whatever. It's ASMR. Anyway, I was watching for ages, like when I was in work, these Japanese cooking videos of people like putting together bento boxes, but they wouldn't be speaking. It would just be the noises of cooking. And that was so relaxing to me. And I didn't even realize it was like the tingles. I don't know.
I like the like spa ones where people are getting like back massages or head massages. I like those. I don't mind when they also have like words over them as well, like, you know, if they're describing it kind of thing. I find those very relaxing because it's like you can imagine it happening to you, and then also the sounds are relaxing.
That kind of makes sense. I generally don't like it though. Like I put on Twitch the other day, and I was just scrolling through the streams. You know, it gives you like categories recommended and stuff. And one that it recommended me was like the ASMR category, and it had one girl first. And I was just like, I'm just going to see what this is. And I clicked it. I don't know what was in her mouth. Like she was chewing something. It sounded like maybe ice or chewing gum. But she was like so loudly going, I was like, I'm going to be sick. This is horrible.
My mom hates when I do that. She's like, stop making the fish noise with your mouth.
The fish noise. Oh my God. But to get back to the topic of anime, can anime be ASMR? We'll solve that in today's episode of bullshit. Oh Lord, this is going to be a messy episode, and I love it. Yeah.
I feel like this is us getting to the heart of what the podcast is going to be. The other episodes were very structured. They were following a narrative. This is what the rest of the podcast is going to be. So buckle in tight, folks. Because it is going to be a roller coaster of rants that have nothing to do with what the title said this video was going to be.
Exactly. We tricked you with the structured first 3 episodes, and now we're going to be like, ha, this is chaos. It's amazing. But I was going to move on from that because you gave a synopsis of Angel Beats, because we mentioned Mirai Nikki, but we didn't really, or Future Diary, if you want to get English about it, is my favorite anime, and it's one that you recommended to me. And I've seen it, I don't know how many times I have seen it now. I started rewatching it again.
Really?
I'll just put it on in the background because I've already seen it, and I just wanted something to chill to. But Mirai Nikki is, how much can I say without spoiling? A bunch of people with diaries, and they all want to become God.
Yeah, it's sort of like, I think it was like 7 people, is it?
No. 9. No, 13.
9?
12.
I don't know, something like that.
12, 13.
Some numbers. So a bunch of people keep diaries in their normal lives anyway, and the god of their universe is dying, and in order to decide a new god, he's given each of these 12, 13, 9, 4
13.
people.
13.
13 people. He's made all of their diaries into future diaries. So like now, instead of just being a record of what has happened to them, it's like started jumping forward a bit as well. And the aim of the thing is they have to kill each other off, and the last one standing becomes God. But what I find really interesting is, and what I think, you know, lends itself really well to the whole story, is that all the characters have different kinds of diaries, so that all of the futures are different kinds of predictions. Like Yuno's diary is a diary on this guy that she's stalking. So her entire future log is just about things that have happened to him. So it's not really helpful to her at all because it's just stuff that's happened to him. And then like there's some characters in it who like, their diaries are drawings, so their future predictions are just drawings.
Yeah.
Which I don't think that's very helpful, but okay.
Also, worth mentioning is they don't know who the other contestants are, so they gotta just sort of figure it out with their diaries. But it's such a good show. It's only 2 seasons, and then there's an OVA as well, which if you watch Mirai Nikki, you have to watch the OVA because it's not finished without it. Like, it's just not finished.
Oh, yeah. You will be heartbroken both before and after the OVA, but at least you'll feel a little better about your heartbreak after the OVA.
Yeah, you need to watch that, but I've seen it so many times at this point. But I've put that on as like my background show, but a show I've actually started watching now, finally. I'm, just for emphasis here, I'm 23 years old. I've made it 23 years of my life without watching this, except it wasn't already out when I was born. But shush. I finally started watching Death Note.
I've never seen Death Note.
You haven't seen it either?
No.
Like,
don't come for me.
I get the premise of it because I saw like a live action movie, not like the Netflix one, like an old Japanese one from ages ago.
Yeah.
So I get what it's about, but I haven't actually seen it. I've only seen the first episode so far, but I love it. You need to watch it. It's so
yeah,
good.
I feel like it's one of the ones I'm gonna like. But sometimes when things are so hyped, I intentionally don't watch them. Like when Game of Thrones was first like really popular, I intentionally did not watch it because I just don't like watching things that people are really hyped about. Like 13 Reasons Why. Never watched that. Never gonna watch it because it started going downhill, so I've heard, and I don't like that. But also like when it was originally like the first season came out and it was so hyped, everyone was like, you need to watch it, you need to watch it. And I was like, the fact that you're telling me I need to watch it means I'm not gonna watch it.
I think for me, like,
I think it's the same with Death Note. Everyone's like, you like anime, you like dark shit, watch Death Note. And I'm like, no.
no, but it's genuinely really good. I think with me though, it's like, it's not that I avoid watching it because everybody's talking about it. It's that everybody says it so much that I kind of just don't hear it anymore. You know what I mean? So like, yeah, Death Note, or whatever the show is. And it's like, okay, whatever. Let me go look for an anime to watch. I don't know what to watch. And I go researching for my own thing, but I haven't heard Death Note in my brain. You know what I mean? Like it doesn't, you get immune to it.
You get Death Note blind.
Yes, Death Note blindness. That's what we're calling it from now on.
It's a clinical condition, people.
Yes, it's applicable to many shows. I can speak English, I promise. I'm going to do my thesis on Death Note blindness.
Yeah. The last anime I watched, people are going to destroy me in the comments for this. The last anime I watched was Sword Art Online. Don't come for me. No, they're going to come for me even more for saying this. I like it. Okay. Correction. I liked the first half of the first season. So I feel like anyone who knows anime knows Sword Art Online. Have you seen it?
No, I don't even know what it's about.
It's about, I think there's these 10,000 people who, on the first day of a virtual reality game's release, like there was only 10,000 copies released, or was it 6,000? I don't know, there's some, number. And they all log in and they all play it, and then the game creator traps them all in the game, and if you die in the game, you die in real life. So it follows these characters who are trapped in the game, and they're trying to like make it to level 100, because if you make it to level 100, you defeat the big boss there, then like everyone gets released from the game. And it's sort of interesting because as the story goes on, like there's less and less people in the game. Like at certain points it reminds you, it's like, oh, there's only 4,000 people left. Like after the first few days, X number of people died or whatever. And I'm on the second season at the moment, and it's kind of shit. But the first half of the first season was good when they were trapped. I'm going to spoil this now. For anyone who hasn't watched, do you care if I spoil this?
No, it's for you. Go ahead, but for everybody watching, skip ahead like 30 seconds.
Yeah. It's just, so for the first half of the season, they're stuck in the original game. And then they get out, and the second half of the season, some people are still stuck. Like, they're not in the game, but they haven't woken up yet. So they're trying to figure out, like, what happened to all these people, where they are. And the main guy is trying to, like, save his girlfriend who's, like, still stuck in the game. And over of that, if you were skipping ahead. But my point is, I liked the first half. I liked when they were, like, it was, like, a struggle to survive in the game, but also, like, they wanted to take breaks. They wanted to settle down. Like, I know people hate the two main people. I know they hate their coupling or whatever. I liked it. I liked when they got married in the game. I thought it was really cute, especially considering, like, when you get married in the game, it's actually kind of a dangerous thing to do, sort of. I liked all that. It was cute. I think it could have been a good concept if they had, like, stuck with the main storyline a lot longer than 12 episodes. But that's my little rant over. Sword Art Online was good in the beginning, and then it went off the hooks. I think it was fan service. I don't know. Come at me in the comments, except don't, because I am a gentle butterfly.
Oh, the little gentle bean. I protect. Let me pet. I'm so used to getting death threats at this point. I'm just immune, so I will be your shield. I will hold you.
No!
It's okay. I can take it. I'll be like reading the comments for you. I'll be like, they're all saying that you're lovely and your opinions are valid. It's okay. Nobody's shouting.
Oh, God. No, one anime though that I love, that everyone who I've no one who's actually watched it also loves is The Ancient Mage's Bride. It is my favorite anime at the moment. All my friends who haven't watched it but have like know about it are like, that's weird, that's creepy, and I'm like, but watch it.
Yeah, no, when you watch it, it's good. It's the premise sounds creepy, but when you watch it, it's good. You
I
recommended
think
that one
it's
to me as
the
well.
immortal being wants to marry a 16-year-old girl bit that creeps people out, but it's like not that. Also, I'm
Yeah.
reading the manga at the moment. Obviously, the manga is like way further along than the anime, but they just one of the last bits I read of the manga, they were saying that Elias, the mage who kind of like took him in when he first, was conscious, kind of thing, was telling him about the different kinds of relationships people have, like brothers and sisters, friends, husbands and wives. And she was telling him, like, oh, a wife is, someone who doesn't leave your side, you're always together, all of this kind of stuff. And he was like, oh, are you my wife? And she was like, no, I'm your teacher. I'm teaching you things. And he was like, okay. So it's like he's telling all this to Chise like way later on. And she's like, oh, okay, so for you, marriage is not a romantic thing. It's just we're, going to be working together and living together for the rest of our lives. It's kind of like a forever friendship thing. That's what it means to him. So it makes it way less creepy when you realize his idea of marriage is not everyone else's idea of marriage. It's not romantic. It's more just like an eternal friendship thing. And I find that adorable.
Yeah, no, that is pretty sweet though. You kind of get it from the first while, like it's not a marriage. Like it's not what he means by that. I have to sneeze so badly. Oh my God. No. No, I'm not allowed to sneeze on the internet. It's cursed because of the content I've covered. So I apologize.
Oh my God.
I wanted to follow up from that, but yeah, I want to watch the last few episodes again because I watched the whole thing, but the last few episodes I don't remember what was going on, but I was like half watching them, so I kind of missed bits of what was going on. So I kind of need to go over those again.
I watched the show first and then I started reading the manga. And I still find that kind of bit, the ending of the anime, a little confusing. I think they've added more on to the anime now, though, from when I was watching it. Because I've seen clips of her at school, which is like, I read that in the manga, but I hadn't seen it in the anime. So unless people have just like edited manga panels really well, they've added that into the anime. I don't know. I need to go back and watch it. I was watching the English dub of it there to like see, because of my dyslexia, sometimes following the subtitles can be really difficult, especially if like there's a lot going on in a scene, and I don't like going back to reread them because I feel like that really like ruins the story. So I was like, oh, I'll watch the English dub just so that I'm like 100% sure I've understood everything that's going on, because there's a bit that confuses me. And I was like, this is cursed content. Why have I done this to myself? This is cursed.
I haven't listened to the English one, so I don't know how it sounds.
I don't know. It's the way they pronounce people's names and stuff. And I'm just like, I know that they're in England in it. And I know that, like, see, I pronounce his name Elias because that's how they pronounce it in the anime. But, like, when they pronounce it in the English dub, they pronounce it probably the way it would be pronounced in England. But I'm still like, yeah, but she's Japanese, so she wouldn't pronounce it the way English people do, and it just sounds wrong.
How do they pronounce it in the...
I don't know. I can't remember, but I just remember the first time I heard it, I was like...
Elias, maybe? That's the only other way I can think to say.
That's it.
Elias.
Yeah, it's like Elias or something, and I'm just like, no.
No, this is not good. We don't like that. I just want to say, though, so you have recommended to me Angel Beats, Mirai Nikki, Ancient Magus... there. Stuttering. Shut up. That one. And Danganrompa. I think I owe you anime suggestions. Have I recommended you anything?
I don't think so.
Did you watch, like, Higurashi? No?
I don't think so. No.
Okay. I'm sure I've probably recommended that to you. I think it's Higurashi no Naku Koroni or something like that. It's when they cry in English. When the cicadas cry or something, but I think they just call it when they cry.
Oh, I feel like I've heard this, like, recommended somewhere before, but I can't remember what it's
I probably recommended it, so you should watch that and then love it, and then, or maybe hate it. I love it. You kind of need to watch it again, though.
I'm sorry, I keep coughing.
No, you're okay. Other ones I may have recommended to you. Have I ever recommended Elfen Lied, or have you watched it?
No.
You haven't? Okay, you would like that one. You would really like Elfen Lied. Or, sorry, I'm going completely off on these tangents now. I'm sorry to everybody listening. So, two that I think you would love are Elfen Lied and Dead Man Wonderland.
Oh, yeah. I had a friend recommend that one before years ago. The friend who recommended me Angel Beats and Danganrompa and Future Diaries recommended that one to me as well.
Okay, well, this friend has good taste.
I came across none of these originally. Yeah.
Me neither, so it's fine. Well, Dead Man Wonderland and Elfen Lied I did. And Higurashi. So, yay, look at me go. So, we should just do we should have come up with a whole list of anime recommendations. Just list them out and be like, that's the episode.
We should put them in the description. Just like every anime we mentioned, add it to the description. Yes,
we should absolutely do that. Another one. So the ones that I really like are the more darker ones, if you can't tell, because Mirai, Nikki, and Higurashi and Elfen Lied and all that. So the other one that I really like is called Another. But I remember loving that, but I don't remember what happened exactly. Like, I vaguely remember. Like, I get the concept of the story. I just don't remember the entire plot. You know?
Yeah.
So I watched it years ago.
I get that sometimes.
Yeah. But I think it was only one season, so I could probably watch it again.
I was watching this anime once called Orange. I don't know how I found it, but I was watching that. That one's pretty good. It's not like any of the others. Like, usually when I watch anime, it's like fantasy stuff or like darker stuff. But Orange, I mean, it's kind of fantasy, but it's more like school life with a bit of fantasy mixed in. It's follows this girl and her friends, and this new guy starts a school and they start befriending him. But then the girl gets a letter from her future self warning her of like all these things that are to come and stuff. And it's like, it's kind of sad, but it's also like really good.
Oh, that sounds really good though. I want to watch that.
It is, but like the fantasy aspect of it is just like, it's a fantasy aspect in the sense that like, yeah, she's got a letter from her future self, but they don't play up the fantasy any more than that. It's just that, and it's never really entirely explained how that came about. But you know, it's just I kind of like that, because I sometimes feel like shows go too much into like explaining every little detail, and I'm just like, look, I don't need you to explain how the future letter thing works. It's just there. It's just a thing.
It just is. I mean, there are people who do like everything to be explained, but I think you and me are very like, no, I want to figure it out myself. I want to make my own story.
Yeah, like there's this TV show I love, not an anime, called Fringe. And it's like all about fringe science, which is like telekinesis, pyrotech, you know, like all of this like teleportation, like science that would be considered like fantasy, you know, like time travel, genetic manipulation, all of that kind of stuff. And it's like this whole TV show on that. And the second to last season ends on what I consider to be a very strong note of like the big overarching storylines have finished up nicely. But the little kind of individual threads that are brought up every now and then, like they're not all answered, which I feel like is kind of the whole point of the show. The show is about fringe science. Like not all the science has to be explained. But then they added on a final season where everything was explained, and I was like, unnecessary.
They ruined it. Oh no. Excuse Megan while she dies.
Yeah. I'm sorry.
How could you? This is just, you know, terrible. How dare you have a cough? I'm so offended. I've actually had a really annoying cough the last while because the air got dirty here and stuff, and I'm just like, and I had to go out, like I went for a walk because I had to go to the shops in the evening when it's at its dirtiest, and now my lungs are like, why? Like when I came back from that walk, my lungs hurt, like in the back. Like they were painful. It was horrible. And
Yeah.
I just felt dizzy and I was sitting on the couch like, this is the end. I get genuinely scared that I'm going to have like, I'm going to knock on wood here, but like have long-term health effects from
Yeah.
the air
From
here.
the smog. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like that, what you're saying about the lungs, that's what it felt like when I thought I had COVID, but I just had a lung infection, or a chest infection instead.
I just
It felt
had a
like
chest
that.
infection.
I love how like some people are like, oh yeah, I get a chest infection like every year, or like I'm susceptible to them or whatever. I'm like, first time in my entire life I have a chest infection is when there's a chest pandemic going around that affects your breathing. And I was like, it's fun.
That is terrible.
Fun time for me. But yeah, it felt like that, where like the back of my lungs hurt, or like my chest felt like it was like concaving in on itself. It was weird. I just like could not breathe properly.
Yeah, it's horrible. We did
I can't imagine if that's just like your environment. At least that went away with like antibiotics and stuff. I can't imagine if it's your environment, you have to deal with that every winter.
Yeah, well, it's basically just like avoiding going outside as much as possible. And this year we finally got an air purifier, so that's just for inside, but it helps. So it tells you what the level of that PM 2.5 is, which is the bad stuff in the air, and so it just brings it down basically, and it's quite good, and it's very quiet, the one we got. So, except for when you turn it on. When you turn it on, it does this really loud beep, and it scares the shit out of me every time. Even if I've turned it on, I forget that it makes that noise. It scares the cats. They're like, what is this? So, anyway, that has nothing to do with that.
No, another tangent.
Another tangent. What is, yeah, I wanted to talk a bit about Danganronpa as well, because, so we talked about Mirai Nikki briefly, my obsession with that. My obsession goes very deep into that. Maybe we should talk about that a bit later. But Danganronpa was the other character that I dressed up for Comic-Con.
Yes.
As. Junko Onishima, is that her name? It's been years since I watched it.
I can't remember any of the character names from Danganronpa, not a single one. And I think that's because of the subtitles, like the fact that I was watching it with subtitles. And when it comes to me watching shows with subtitles, I have a very difficult time remembering characters' names, because I think I just skip over them in my dyslexic hurry to like read the rest of the subtitles before they disappear. So I just end up like not remembering people's names.
Yeah, that makes sense. I think it helped in Mirai Nikki, because most of the characters got referred to by like their number, not names. So like it would be like 9th or something,
Yeah.
So that made it easier.
Yeah, but, and like the shows were like I watched a few. Like I liked Danganronpa a lot, but I can't remember why I haven't watched it again. It might just be that like it didn't dawn on me to do it. Like I really liked it. I should go back and watch it.
You know what I think happened? I think me and you were convinced there was going to be another season, and we were like waiting, and it's been years.
Yeah, because there's been 2 other. Because it's based off a video game, not manga. And there's been 2 other subsequent video games based on Danganronpa. Like, so we were convinced they were going to make a second season off the second video game, but they never did.
Mm-hmm. You know what's weird? What I am confused about is, because I'm not a big gamer, but I play games. Why haven't I played it? Like, I watched it, I loved it. It was one of my favorites for ages, but I never played it. Catch me on Twitch, guys. I'm going to play it.
My friend, the one who recommended it, she had the game. I think she might have only had the second game. I don't know if she had the first one, but she had one of them. And I would watch her play it at school sometimes. She would like tell me what was going on in the game so that I could kind of know how the story was progressing, sort of thing. But I just remember that in the second game, one of the guys had a bunch of hamsters. He bred hamsters. That was his talent or whatever. He bred
I love
hamsters.
that. I'm going to be honest. This is another one of those animes that I know I loved, but I just don't remember what happened. I remember like the concept. I remember the ending, but the actual inner workings of the show is gone from my brain. The main thing I remember is that their blood was pink.
Yeah, I loved that. It was neon pink. I thought that was great.
I don't know about you, but my blood is pink. So.
Pink blood house. I think... Okay, so there may be spoilers in this synopsis, because I can't remember if the reason why they were in this school was a lie in the beginning, and the truth was only revealed at the end.
I think it was, yeah.
So I'm not going to mention why they were there, but that's also a spoiler because I just said it's a lie.
You already said it's a spoiler. We're just going to put an entire spoiler warning for this episode of the podcast for everything.
Any anime that is referenced will get spoiled. So I think, brief synopsis, I'll try to be as unspoilery as possible. There are 12, is it 12 again?
What's the numbers? It's not good, man. It's just...
something like that. I think it is 12 this time. There's 12 students in a school with their principal, this dude. Yes, their principal is a teddy bear. And it's kind of the same as Future Diaries in the sense that only one person can leave the school. They got to kill each other off to get out. But it's different in the sense that after every murder, there's a trial. So you don't have to like patiently wait for everyone to die one by one. If you kill someone and you get away with it in the trial, then everybody else is automatically killed and you get to leave. So like after the murder, there's a trial, and if the murderer is caught, then they get killed. But if they blame it on someone else, then everyone else gets killed and the murderer gets to escape. So, it's kind of cool in that sense that like there's a mystery afoot as to like who killed
who done it.
Who did it. I also love that when they kill the murderers, they get their worst fear as a death or something like that.
Yeah, now I'm remembering what actually happened. So thank you for your synopsis. Yeah. It makes sense. I do remember the despair. That's what I remember. I was reading, I wasn't reading something, it came up on Twitter for me about Danganronpa, about Junko. Somebody saying that she had DID. And I was like, did she? Because I vaguely remember the scene. Okay, big spoilers, Lord. I vaguely remember the scene of her like, I don't know, switching into these different characters, but like one after the other. But I didn't think it was supposed to be she had DID.
Actress. Yeah, she's an actress. Isn't that because each of this isn't a spoiler. They mentioned this in the first episode. Each of these students is the top of some. They're the top of some kind of field. Like one of them's the greatest detective. One of them's the greatest hacker. Junko's like the greatest actress. So I would presume that's just her taking on different roles.
Yeah, that's what I thought it was.
DID.
Because it wouldn't make sense because that was just her thing. She acted. So I was confused by that. But I think we're right. I think we're right and they're wrong.
Yeah, we haven't watched it in like 10 years, but yeah.
When I said DID is not canon, by the way, I meant in the show, like for her character.
Not in life.
Not in life. We're not disputing the basis of a mental illness.
Yeah. And we're like, okay, off topic, completely off topic. Mm-hmm. But I've told you before that you need to watch Doom Patrol, his TV show.
Yes.
But so I really, really, really want some DID YouTuber to watch a specific episode because one of the characters in it has DID, but she also has superpowers. They all have superpowers. All the characters in it have superpowers. But because she has DID, each of her personalities has a different power. None of them have the same powers. But there's one episode where she's in the underground, which is her inner world where all her different alters live. And I really want someone with DID to watch that episode and tell me if it's an accurate description of what people's inner worlds are like. Obviously, no two people's inner worlds are the same. But I'd love for someone to watch it and be like, this is actually an accurate description of what someone's inner world could be like. Because it's an amazing episode and I want to know. I also love that in her inner world, each of her alters are played by different actors. Because they are different people. They're not just all her. You know what I mean?
Sense.
They're all different people inside. And I just I don't know. I also need you to watch the show because it's great. But I need someone to watch it. Completely off topic.
I don't know if you saw, I did a video with the entropy system. I did 3 videos with them, but it was one call. But during that, they mentioned Doom Patrol. But they hadn't watched it. They said it was that they'd heard it was a really good representation of DID, but they hadn't seen it. So I'm assuming somebody told them that they had seen it and it was good. So I should try and find out if any of the ones that I briefly communicate with. Why am I doing this while I'm talking? My nose isn't even itchy. I'm just So for anybody who can't actually see, I was like rubbing my nose for some reason. Anyway, I hit my microphone again. I should try and find out if anybody has seen it. I'll ask around for you. I'm not like best friends with these people, but I can at least text them and be like, hi, have you seen this show?
Obviously, I don't know anything about DID in comparison to people who have DID or people who study mental conditions for a living. But for what I do know of it, I can see how it would be a very accurate description. It's like one of the more accurate descriptions I've seen of any TV show. But that being said, usually someone with DID is just in one episode, where she is a main character. So it makes sense that they would try and be as accurate about it as possible. Mm-hmm. But yeah. That has nothing to do with that.
I do want to say, because this would be an interesting thing just to mention for people who don't know. So because we've talked about you basically recommending me all of my favorite animes. Some of them you didn't, some of them I found myself, but most of them you recommended them to me. You also recommended Dissociated to me.
Oh. This was years ago.
Yeah, this was
Don't attack me!
This was like, when did you visit me? 2018?
Yeah.
Yeah, so this was 2018. This was a while ago. So
yeah, and at that point, I was subscribed to them when I like first started watching their channel, but I don't know what happened. Like, I was still subscribed, but none of the videos ever came up in my subscription, so I actually kind of forgot they existed until I saw your thing. And then I went to check it out, because I was like, oh yeah, I used to watch their videos. And I was still subscribed. It's just that none of the videos ever popped up in my subscriptions, ever, so I just sort of forgot they existed.
Well,
Don't come for me.
Now. But it's just funny, because basically you gave me my career with your recommendations.
Yeah, give me my money that I am owed.
Okay,
all of those videos.
Let me just what do the Americans use? Cash App. Let me just Cash App you. That's like I'm saying ketchup.
Venmo me the money.
I'll Venmo it to you. That doesn't sound right when I say it. It just sounds stupid. It obviously sounds like I don't know what I'm talking about. It's like there's this episode of South Park. It's what is it? It's have you seen South Park? I don't even know if you have.
I've glanced at episodes, but I've never intentionally watched South Park.
Okay, well, Randy, which is Stan's dad, he's like going around trying to get rid of Columbus Day and like pull down the statue and stuff because Columbus is dickhead, right? But Randy doesn't really understand. He just wants to because he used to be really into Columbus and now people don't like Columbus anymore. So he wants people to think that he doesn't like Columbus. And it comes up stuff about Native Americans and stuff. And somebody said indigenous people, but he starts saying indigenous, but doesn't know what it means. So he's like, I'll get indigenous. Just because you sound indigenous to me doesn't mean I need to be indigenous or something. So that's basically how I sound. Less racist, but like when I'm like, hey, I'll Venmo you. I know what that means.
I know American terminology.
Yes, for sure. But just, lacking the racism. I tend to try and not be racist.
Yep.
Anyway, anime.
Oh my god.
South Park.
For anyone who wants a proper podcast on anime, I highly recommend Trash Taste Podcast.
Trash Taste
Podcast. It's these 3 anime YouTubers who all live in Japan. Joey, the anime man, Connor, Sea-Dog VA, and Grant Giguk, I think is, I don't know, I don't watch him, but I watch the other 2. Sorry, Grant, you're not watching this, but sorry. They have a podcast where they mostly talk about anime, so if you want legit anime podcasts, check out those dudes.
I mean, we can always do follow-up anime topics when we start watching new things. Maybe when I finish Death Note and you finish a thing, we can talk about things.
I still haven't finished Naruto. I finished the manga, but there's so many filler episodes that I don't know that I will ever finish the anime.
I don't think
I also started Boruto and then gave up on it after 3 episodes.
You're gonna end up in the Angel Beats limbo because you haven't finished Naruto. It'll be like your unprocessed trauma.
Yeah, they're gonna have to sit me down in front of 300 hours of Naruto.
Oh
I swear to God, I probably do have 300 hours of Naruto left to watch.
I
They're
haven't
going to
really
sit me
watched
down
it.
in front of that in limbo and force me to watch the whole thing. At which point I won't want to move on because I have cursed my limbo experience, which is 300 hours of Naruto.
Oh dear Lord, hold on.
There may be a few deaths in between me starting my Naruto marathon and the ending.
Oh Lord, I haven't really watched Naruto. Like I've seen an episode here and there, but I've not followed it. Like it was just one that when it was on TV, I would just watch it, but like that was it.
Yeah, I think like I used to watch. We have a community theater in my town. You remember the Mermaid?
Yes.
Yeah. So they have a stage and they put on plays and musicals and stuff, but they also put on movies, and like once a season, you know, like the spring season, August. August isn't a season. Spring, summer. I want to say fall, but it's not fall.
Autumn.
I'm not American.
Autumn.
My favorite season, legit, is, cannot remember the name for the life of me, winter. They'd have a different Studio Ghibli movie on. Ghibli, whatever you call it. So like those are like technically my first experiences with anime, where we used to go, sometimes we'd go and watch those. But like I think my first like proper experience with anime was Naruto. Don't come for me. I have moved out of that. I know there are some people who say if you start with one of those big animes like Dragon Ball or Naruto or whatever, you're never going to get out of them. You're just going to go on about them forever. I managed to get out. It's not impossible, people. You can do it too.
You can do it. We believe in you guys.
I will be your sponsor.
You can watch niche anime too. It's okay if you started with Naruto. You can do it.
I have a weird obsession with watching, like, do you know those anime that like pop up on your YouTube recommended sometimes, where it's like 12 episodes of like basically nonsense? It's like, there was like this one called like Wolf Girl and something or other. Watched that. There's a few yaoi ones that popped up. Watched those. There was one about, I can't remember the name. I actually really liked this one, where it was all the students who were like about to be expelled from school were all sent to like this one dorm, you know, like on campus. They all live there, and one of the characters is very similar to a cat. I can't remember the name. Someone was going to comment it down below and be like, yeah, that's it. That one. I don't know why, but like sometimes I'll just fall down a rabbit hole of like bootleg 12 episode animes that are on YouTube, and I'll just start watching them.
I haven't actually watched any of those. Like I know that they're there. I've just never seen them. You know, like, but I kind of tend to, so I'll search for ages for an anime that I want to watch, like forever. And then you'll just be like, oh, there's this one and there's this one, but I can't find the perfect anime. And then I'll just settle on something dumb. Like that's how I found Beelzebub, which I thought was hilarious.
YouTube. That was one of the ones that I fell down a rabbit hole watching on YouTube.
Yes.
But I intentionally clicked on that one because I'd remembered you mentioning it before.
What was there was a song that I was like obsessed with from it was like,
I can't remember.
Oh Lord, there was a song. It was like, what was the song?
Oh no.
It was like the ending credits from season 3 or something.
Very specific.
I'll find it. I'm going to find the song and I'll send it to you later. And if I find the song, I'll put it in the description of this. I probably won't because I'll forget. And I always say I'm going to put things in the description and I don't do it. So I might put it somewhere.
I just remembered an anime there. Years ago, I watched this anime, Fruits Basket, and I loved it, but they only had one season of it and they never continued it. So I read the manga instead to like get to the ending. And I loved it. But they recently came out, like they redid it, because it originally came out in 2001, I think, or 2000. But they remade it now, and they're like, they're really close to the ending now. And I'm like, you have to, it's a really good one. It's about the 12 zodiacs. Technically 13. So I'm not sure if this is true or if it's just a Fruit Basket version of the story. But in Fruit Baskets, there were 13 zodiacs. There was the cat zodiac as well. But the mouse tricked the cat into not showing up to a party with God, and so the cat ended up kind of getting kicked out of the Zodiacs. But in this anime, the Zodiacs are all people from this one family, the Soma family, and like each generation when one Zodiac dies, a new member of the family is born as the Zodiac. And if they're hugged by a member of the opposite sex, they turn into their Zodiac animal. And they're kind of like eternally cursed to be reborn and have a party forever with God, even though they kind of don't want to anymore.
You got a party with God forever.
Forever. God is a dick. But yeah, so this girl comes along and she ends up moving in with the cat, the rat, and the dog. And obviously the cat and the rat hate each other because like all the Zodiacs don't like the cat. Especially God. God hates the cat, but the cat hates the rat because the rat is the reason that the cat like got kicked out of the fam to begin with. But it's just kind of like it's like a really heartwarming story about all these Zodiac characters and this girl who loves all the Zodiacs. But the girl, her favorite Zodiac was always the cat. She always felt bad for him, and it's just watch Fruit Baskets, general public. Watch Fruit Baskets.
I don't know. I was about to ask you again what it was called because my brain was like, she said it was called Fruit Loops, but it couldn't be called Fruit Loops.
Fruit Baskets.
And then my brain went, Fruit of the Loom? No, that's a closed company. Fruit Baskets. Okay, baskets of fruit, baskets of cats. I think I've lost my mind. I've had too much coffee. All the dangers of the podcast.
Oh, God.
Do you have
great anime.
Any final anime thoughts? Not anime thoughts, anime thoughts before we move on. See, too much coffee. This is why we need to end soon because I'm going to say something stupid.
I'm trying to think if there's any anime that I haven't recommended. I've got Kurowa Zombie Deshuka stuck in my head. It's not a great anime, but it's also one of those really stupid anime. Do you remember this? Did I ever show you this? Because it was the girl who recommended all those other ones to me, recommended this one as well. And it's about this guy who dies, but then a necromancer brings him back as a zombie, but he's like supposed to fight the forces of evil, but whenever he does it dressed up as a maid. One of those kinds of anime.
That sounds amazing. I'll watch that.
I can't remember anything about it. It was years ago, but that was just in my head. It's like, remember this? No, brain, I don't want to.
I'm trying to think if there's any anime that I haven't mentioned that I really love. So I said Danganronpa, I said Mirai Nikki, obviously. Gotta watch Mirai Nikki. Oh, we never talked about my obsession. So this was like, what age was I when I watched this? Like 15, 16, 15?
Probably, yeah.
About 15, yeah. So I was like still on Facebook and still 15. So I would like get all these pictures together. I'd spend hours on the internet getting pictures of Yuno and Yuki and post them on Facebook and stuff. And I would try to draw them a couple of times, but I can't draw, so it never worked. But I tried drawing them, and then I dressed up for Comic-Con as Yuno. And I was just obsessed, and I kept watching it over and over and over again and like being to everybody, you have to watch it. I remember though, at Comic-Con, this just popped into my head randomly because a couple of people didn't know who I was, obviously, because it's a little bit more of a niche anime. Like it's not the most niche, but it's not the most popular either. And somebody was my Yuki. I had a Yuki. I remember somebody was like, Yuno, and I was like, Yuki. So that was. I
need to rewatch that YouTube video because it's probably in there somewhere.
Yeah, it's probably also a mess because this was years ago before we understood how to YouTube. Do we understand now?
Yeah, I probably just literally put all... No. I spent 4 days rendering one video. No.
Oh, you poor thing. Did it render in the end, by the way, this video?
Yeah, it nearly crashed at like 99%, but then I got it, but also the quality, V-poor quality.
That's okay.
We're living with it.
You gotta make do with what
I'm not fixing it. I'm not going back and fixing it. I give up.
Yeah.
My viewers know at this point I a lazy bitch. I put 4 days of effort into this. That's more than I ever have before. My laptop nearly crashed 100 times.
You poor thing. That's so annoying. There's nothing worse, honestly. Like, I can't. I'm trying. Okay, let me think. What animes have I not recommended? I recommended another. Higurashi no Nakukoro ni, I think it's called. I'm probably butchering that. Elfen Lied, Man Wonderland. Beelzebub is if you want a funny one. I watched One Punch. Like it was good. Like I wouldn't watch it again. It was a good way to kill a day. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or 2 days, however long it took me to watch it. But it wasn't that great. Death Note is wonderful from the first episode. I don't know about the rest of it. Maybe it goes to shit. I think I've named all my favorite ones.
I know there's one. I really want to bring up my Crunchyroll account or Crunchyroll or whatever it's called because I know I have like ticked off all the anime that popped up that I've watched. I feel like I'm forgetting ones to mention. I put up on my Twitter a while ago TV show recommendations. There was a list of anime on it, but I can't remember. Well, I put it on it. I think we mentioned all of them.
You know what, guys? We've named all the best ones. It's fine.
Yeah, I feel like if we can't remember them at this point, they weren't that great. I mean, that's not true. I nearly forgot Fruits Basket. But still.
We're not the greatest at memory, but shush. It's fine.
We can always add them to the description. That's the great thing about a description. It can always be edited.
True. Do you mind if I plug my Twitch really quickly for a specific purpose? So if you have been following my Twitch, it's Evangeline Skov, by the way. I'm Evangeline Skov on everything. I've been doing a lot of study with me videos. Before that, I was doing gaming. And I am going to go back to doing like maybe 40% gaming, 60% study with me because I have a lot of studying to do. But I want to play Danganronpa. And I also want to play Yandere Simulator.
Oh my god, yes. Do it.
I'm going to do it.
I also was going to start doing study with me when I went to college. And then you started doing it. I was like, God damn, even her psychic abilities to steal all my decent video ideas.
You can still do it. I don't own the rights to study with me.
I'm still going to do it. But, one last thing. I gotta ask this. It could be a 2-second argument. Avatar: The Last Airbender. Is it an anime? I know it's not Japanese, but is it an anime?
Wait, it's not Japanese?
Nickelodeon.
What? Then no, it's not an anime. But it's Nickelodeon. An anime is Japanese by nature.
Oh, fine.
You can't have an American anime. That's a cartoon.
I'm pissed.
You're like,
whatever.
It is an anime. I haven't really watched it. Like I used to watch it on TV.
Because I just wanted Naruto not to be my first anime.
I think mine was like, does Yu-Gi-Oh count?
Oh wait, yeah, Yu-Gi-Oh! Yu-Gi-Oh was my first anime. Oh, or Pokemon. No, wait, I didn't watch. Yeah, I did.
We did watch a bit.
Pokemon's as old as me.
Is it actually?
Yep, 1998, baby.
Damn. Well, I think I either started with Pokemon or Yu-Gi-Oh, but Yu-Gi-Oh was the one that I watched. Like Pokemon was just when it was on, but I was a big Yu-Gi-Oh fan.
See, that's the thing. I didn't watch either of them. I'd watch them when they were on, but I didn't follow either of them. Naruto I was following while I wasn't in my house. Do you remember that year my house was getting an extension, so I wasn't living in it? I was living in Arklow.
Oh my god, memories from the archives of my brain.
But yeah, the house that we were renting had the Cartoon Network, which is where they showed Naruto. So I was following it on that. But then once we left the house, we didn't have Cartoon Network anymore. How to deprive childhood people. I just had satellite TV. It was hard.
So difficult. Cried myself to sleep every night.
No Naruto.
No Naruto.
That's why I bootleg TV shows. I mean, I totally have Netflix.
Bootleg means when you pay for things, right?
Yeah, that's what that means.
Yeah,
it
so does torrents.
You pay an arm and a leg for something.
Clever. No, because so I think Naruto, and then Avatar were those kind of ones for me. Like they'd be on TV and I'd turn them on, but I wouldn't actively watch them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Wasn't that interested. So I guess my first one was like either Pokemon or Yu-Gi-Oh! But then they ruined Yu-Gi-Oh! With Yu-Gi-Oh! GX. Do you remember this? Do you please tell me you
No.
remember this? I'm so mad about it. So they had Yu-Gi-Oh!
I don't remember anything about Yu-Gi-Oh! I just remember I watched it.
I started watching it again recently, but I couldn't. It was too bad. Like the whole thing, is an advertisement for the cards. The show is an advertisement for the
It's
cards,
also
for the
really
toy. Sorry.
like there's some animes people recommend to me that I'm sure I would love, but they're just such bad quality because they're old. Like they're probably good quality at the time, but they're such bad quality I just can't watch them.
Mm-hmm.
Like there's some TV shows that are bad quality, like Charmed. The CGI in that arguably shite, was probably shite at the time as well, but I still love it. But when it comes to anime with shite animation, I can't watch it, and Yu-Gi-Oh! Is one of those for me.
The
Because it looks bad.
the problem for me with Yu-Gi-Oh! Is not that it's like bad. It's because going back on it with fresh eyes, like it's so blatantly just marketing. Like that's all it is. They just wanted to sell these games, and I can't unsee it now that I've seen it, and it's kind of ruined
Yeah.
Yu-Gi-Oh! For me.
I feel like, yeah, because Pokemon isn't as, like, in your face about, Pokemon, because Pokemon cards weren't really a part of the show at all. And then the games came, like, years later, whereas Yu-Gi-Oh! The whole point of the show is the game that you can buy.
Yeah, like it's just a very long drawn out advertisement. Like that's all it is, and it's so sad. But then here's the bit. Sorry, I'm getting so heated about Yu-Gi-Oh! Oh my god, have you? We talked about politics the other day, and I never did this. So like
Yu-Gi-Oh! Is your politics.
Exactly, my religion, in fact. So
I mean, it is based off like Egyptian religion, sort of, is it? I feel like there was Egyptian parts in it.
There was like the ultimate card dude where you'd have like 5 cards, whatever his name was. I don't remember. But yeah, so they had Yu-Gi-Oh! And then they had Yu-Gi-Oh! GX was just like a follow-on with like new people, but it was like not the same show. It was not, and their intro was stupid. Like it was like,
when your intro is stupid, you've already lost your audience.
Yeah. You know what sorry, I'm going off on all these tangents now, but I can't help it. I've gotten so, like, the caffeine has hit me. I'm so buzzed. I was trying to find, so I had Digimon in my head for some reason.
Oh my god.
And then I was like, wait, I remember the song for that was like Bomb. So I was like on YouTube trying to find it, but I kept finding the Japanese one. I was like, this wasn't the song. This not. And I finally found the English one. And it was just something like Digimon, Digital Monsters. It's like, this is stupid. I remembered it as this amazing song. It's just like Digital Monsters, Digimon, yeah. And I was, but I watched it on repeat.
Funny? There was literally an episode of Trash Taste where one of the guys was like, I was obsessed with the Digimon tune, but when I tried looking it up, all the Japanese ones came up and they were not the same as the English. You literally verbatim had the same argument as one of the Trash Taste dudes.
No, because it is. You look it up and it's all the Japanese ones and it's like, no, this is not the intro. I'm sorry that this is the original actual one, but I watched it in English. I need the American intro.
Whenever anyone reminds me that Pokemon is originally in Japanese, I'm like, no. It's American.
Obviously. Somebody wants to like stab you right now for saying that. How dare you? Oh my god, I'm so like caffeined. Look at me go. The Coffee and Catch-Up podcast, guys, and just me bopping.
That's what the Coffee and Catch-Up actually means. It's us getting really caffeinated. And then catching you up on our hot takes.
Basically, hot takes like Pokemon is American and Digimon is in English originally.
Digimon is a beat.
Oh dear Lord, but it's not. It's not Bomb. It's not the bomb.com. It's not even Bomb Diggity. It's just Digimon, Digital Monsters. Digimon.
I don't know what it was. I don't know that I ever knew it.
I know. I think I've forgotten again. I don't think that was exactly it, but that was like the gist of it.
I'm sure to like your 6-year-old self or whatever, it was the bomb.com.
Absolutely. Like we should do a an episode on just like our childhood TV shows and stuff. We can talk about how we were witches.
Oh my god, speaking of which, and childhood TV shows, my dad, they recently started showing reruns of Buffy, as in they just finished the entire Buffy series. But my dad was watching it start to finish on, like, I don't know, one of the networks we have, because they were showing it. And so we were talking a lot about Buffy, because we both really like Buffy. And I was like, I remember, I was saying this to my dad, my mom was there. I was like, I remember Mom would not let me watch Buffy when I was a kid because they were showing reruns of it on TV when I was a kid. My mom would not let me watch it. And my mom has no recollection of this. And I was like, you ruined my childhood. You kept Buffy from me until I was old enough to bootleg it.
No, I watched it on TV, so, but you know, my mom just let me watch whatever, which was good and bad. It means I get to watch Buffy. It also means that I have a weird phobia of eyes because I saw Kill Bill when I was 8. So there you go. That's my childhood for you. I think we should do an episode on childhood TV shows. I was about to say on childhood trauma.
Partly for you.
Same thing. I think I'm so used to saying childhood trauma now that when I say the word childhood, that's just what I directly associate it with. Childhood, oh yeah, that terrible thing. Oh yeah.
Oh God.
Oh Lord, no, TV shows. If people want us to do an episode on childhood TV shows, please let us know in the comments of either the YouTube or on our social medias, which is CACU Podcast on both Twitter and Instagram. Thanks.
Yay. Thanks.
Follow us.
Oh God.
Oh, I'm so buzzed. I feel like I'm on drugs, but it's just coffee. Disclaimer, I do not do drugs. People have a hard time accepting that I don't do drugs. I don't know what that's about.
I mean, your intro is literally what's the crack, which to anyone who isn't Irish is a drug association.
True. Although I had an argument with, not an argument, but like a heated debate with one of my friends, because he was saying, I listen to your videos, you do not say the, you just say what's crack. And I'm like, no, I say the. And he's like, no.
You say what's the crack. You know, you say something, it's not the full THE, but you do say something.
See, that's what I thought.
It's abbreviated.
No, because that's what I thought. And I was arguing with this. And he was like, okay, I'm going to pull up one of your videos. And he played it on 0.75 speed, I think. And I'm like, I'm saying, what's the crack? And he's like, no. And then he put it on 0.25. And it was just like, what's crack?
So yeah, not Irish, totally just a drug reference.
Yeah, I think because we are Irish, we're so used to hearing it and saying it. It's just like we make up for the. People are lucky I say what's because I could just say it's crack.
It's crack. Yeah. No, it's like what is it? There's something. My cousins, you know, my aunt and uncle, my cousins are Scottish, and we used to go over there, you know, maybe once a summer or something. Also lived there for 3 months, and my house was getting done up. But they there's something they say, I can't remember what it is, in Scotland. You know, it's one of those things, you know, the way we say what's the crack, or, you know, it's grand, or, you know, something like that they say in Scotland. But it has become so hyphenated where you're literally only pronouncing like the first letter of each word. You don't even say the full word anymore. I can't remember what it was. Sometimes my mom says it just because she finds it funny. But like, I can't remember what it was. This could bug me. But it's one of those things that you don't pronounce the full, you pronounce like every third letter maybe.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this would be like if somebody from Dublin said story to anybody else. Like, they'd be like, what story? Do you want me to read you a story? It's like, no, story. Let's not explain that one. Let's just let people be like, what?
Yeah, leave your opinions down in the comments below what you think story means.
What does story mean? Tell us a story about story in Balamory. Wouldn't you like to know? Okay, I'm going to stop.
I always wanted to go to Balamory. That's another one for the childhood TV thing.
Yes.
Balamory.
Yes. Let's save our childhood TV shows. So do let us know if you want us to do that. I think we've finished everything we wanted to say about anime.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that. That was the topic.
Oh, look, we always planned we were just going to have like a loose topic, so it's okay. Can you tell that I'm caffeinated because you keep getting closer and closer to like the camera?
Are you trying to seduce the audience?
Trying to seduce the audience who are watching.
Subscribe.
But no, but then I have to seduce the audio audience. It's ASMR.
You just annoyed everyone.
Yeah.
Oh.
Or. It's or. Wait, I have another sip of coffee left. Let me just... That was disgusting. I'm so sorry. I'm so obnoxious as a human being. Oh, Lord.
God.
Well, I think we can call that a podcast. How would you say the end in Japanese? The end
Konnichiwa?
in Japanese. Konnichiwa. Konnichiwa.
That's low. I don't know. That was the first word that popped into my head. I mean, technically, it's the exact opposite of goodbye, so. Oh my god.
Oh my god, I'm crying. Okay. So konnichiwa, everybody.
Can we go now?
I just kicked my microphone. You know what we should do? Because this is
done?
Let's be done. Let me just say first, because I want people's opinions on this, right? Because this is us sober. So we should have at some point do a drunk episode of the podcast.
Oh my god. Okay, so you know the way I said to you, do you want to do a game of Among Us with some of my college friends at AV Sky?
Mm-hmm.
I was literally thinking, I want to get an entire crate of White Claw because people keep going on about it and I feel like I would like it. And I need to try it. And I want to just do a really drunk game of Among Us. And then we should also do a podcast. We should get drunk on the podcast and then go play a drunken game of Among Us.
Let's do it. I'll have whiskey since I'm not going to drink White Claw and we don't even have it here. Yes. Or I'll have beer or wine or something. We'll see. But yeah, I think we're going to leave it here because we both completely lost our minds. We're not making any tangible sense anymore. So thank you for listening to this episode about anime.
Yeah, I've been convinced to go and watch Angel Beats now. I want to destroy my soul.
Yes, and I'm going to watch Danganronpa so I can see that pink blood. So you can find us again on Twitter, Instagram at CACU Podcast. You can also watch this on the YouTube channel if you are not watching it already, which is Coffee and Ketchup Podcast. And if you want to keep up with us separately, you can follow Megan on YouTube at Megan McGrath. She's going to be uploading a video that she worked for 4 days on very soon. It's probably already up by the time that you watch this. Possibly. I shouldn't promise that.
Don't guarantee things. My channel is 1 video a year at best.
Yes. And if you want to follow her on social media, she is Megan_MCGR. And I am Vangelina Skov everywhere. Every single place you could find me, I'm there. Except for Pornhub. I'm not on Pornhub. I don't do porn. Don't know why I needed to specify that.
Okay.
I need to stop talking now. Goodbye, everybody.
Bye-bye. Thank you for listening this far. If you have, I don't blame you if you clicked out.
Yes, very much the same sentiment from me. Goodbye.
Bye-bye.